see 'em's feed on your ears. Wind blows the dust just like buckshot, and I ain't never seen it rain much out here. Smell your own sweat in the evening, wash up at the galvanized tank. The nearest town's 40 miles. The cook here, he don't smile, and all these young horses are rank. But come a tie, yippee-i-o, on the back of my caballo, I'll whoop it, I want on when I can. My spells, they don't ring much, I never did sing much, but I'm sure enough buckaroo man. Cold fingers stiff in the morning, by noon it's 103. 5-year-old slicks in the canyon, and never a hint of a breeze. Jug-headed hollow-back ponies provide all with hours of grief. There's snakes in the shade, choya on the grade, and a half a ton of grit between my teeth. But come a tie, yippee-i-o, on the back of my caballo, I whoop it, I want on when I can. My spurs, they don't ring much, I never did sing much, but I'm sure enough buckaroo man.
This is a cowboy song. I've lived the life of a hired hand. I've lived the life of a working man. I've lived the life of a gypsy too. Live the life of a drunken fool. I got a weakness for them old swayback horses, pretty girls and fine guitars, fancy cars and dirty bars. These hands, they build mansions, and they build cow stanchions. Rode 'em a mighty and I had laid them on a bale or two. They got a weakness for them kids, love unless you ask them to. They got a weakness for them hard bucking horses, and pretty girls and fine guitars, fancy cars and dirty bars. These hands go on the sale block, they'll peel coyotes and tie pack knots, tickle a guitar too, when that ain't all they'll do. They got a weakness for them fast running horses, pretty girls and fine guitars, fancy cars and dirty bars. It's a long way from over, I see a field of four-leaf clover, and money's always come hard for me, but that won't always be. I got a weakness for them old swayback horses, pretty girls and fine guitars, fancy cars and dirty bars. Pretty girls, my little Martin guitar, antique cars and cowboy bars. Pretty girls, my little Martin guitar, antique cars and cowboy bars. Yeah!
I was getting drunk in one of 65 bars in this town. At least this was one I really liked, 'cause all the rugby, hockey playing guys without front teeth promised me they'd have my back in a fight. Well, before you know it, a biker gang came crashing through the door while I was playing me some pool and couldn't miss. One with a big mouth said he put my tail between my legs. I said you ought to put your money where your mouth is. I was a double banking, eyes closed faking, behind the back shooting fool, and I beat that biker man from out in Helena. I grabbed his cash and headed for the door. Before I got there, another bar fight broke out in Butte, America. Then we shoot our guns behind the helmet school, and then we drink the rest of the day. And then we all do shots with neighbors, call the cops, and then we walk outside and climb another head frame. Here in Butte, we get rowdy. We don't give a shit, we're just young, dumb, and free. Here in Butte, we get a little loud. We're a drinking town and we're proud. Well, I turned around and saw a bar stool flying toward my head. I just ducked it, took a shot, and watched it pass. I wasn't about to be the only coward in this place, so I grabbed a leather jacket and kicked his ass. And I was almost through when a big old boot kicked me in the face, and I went flying across the room and through a wall. I kicked the rubble and looked for trouble. When I got to my feet, I saw the street had turned into an all-out brawl. Here in Butte, we get rowdy. We don't give a shit, we're just young, dumb, and free. Here in Butte, we get a little loud. We're a drinking town and we're proud.
I worked the rigs from 3 to midnight on the Corpus Christi Bay. I'd get off and drink till daylight, sleep the morning away. I had a plan to take my wages, leave the rigs behind for good. that life, it is contagious, and it gets down in your blood. I lived in Corpus with my brother. We were always on the run. We were bad for one another, but we were good at having fun. We got stoned along the seawall. We got drunk and rolled a car. We knew the girls at every dance hall, had a tab at every bar. If I could live my life all over, it wouldn't matter anyway, 'cause I never could stay sober on the Corpus Christi Bay. My brother had a wife and family, you know he gave him a good home, but his wife thought we were crazy, and one day we found her gone. We threw her clothes into the car trunk, her photographs, her rosary. We went to the pier and got drunk and threw it all into the sea. If I could live my life all over, it wouldn't matter anymore.